Hi there, I'm Kim from Chase Realty, and we thought that you would enjoy some different points of view with what's going on in the real estate market today. So today I have here with me online is Andrew Mckay from Mckay Realty. Hey,
Yep.
Andrew.
Hi, Kim. I'm Andrew Mckay from the McGuinness and Mckay real estate team with REMAX in Wasaga Beach. We're in cottage country, a very small little market up here. And I thought it'd be a good contrast as well with what Kim's doing and what we're doing and how we've both been affected by the current crisis.
Yeah, it's great for us just to get together and talk about numbers and the differences in our markets, with you being in a smaller cottage area and me being where there's huge homes and big neighborhoods and stuff. It's really neat to see the differences and what's happening with COVID-19 and all the changes that we're all going through. Do you
Yeah,
want to tell me about your market?
yeah, sure. We were having a very good year actually. The sales for up to the end of March, the sales for 2020 were about 7 or 8% higher than 2019. Our average price was up 11%. Our 12-month average price up 11% to 517,000, and everything was looking good for a very busy year for us. Last year, our days on market average was 67. For the first quarter this year, it was 32. And our busy months traditionally are April, May, and June. So we had a fantastic start to the year. But then towards the end of March, it started to go a little bit. And let's hear your stats, and then I can tell you about what happened with us.
Oh, you want to hear mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had the same thing. We had a great year. Things have been doing well. And then March 15th, kind of when everything started changing, I came back from a cruise on March 8th. And then, we stay home and we were isolated for the next week or so. And then things were started to announce that things were going to start getting closed down. So on March 15th in the Hamilton area, we actually had 229 new listings and 151 of those sold.
Wow.
Last week, we had 128 new listings and 64 of them sold. So that's
Yeah.
a huge difference. And then in the Haldeman area, we had 24 listings on March 15th and 12 sold. And last week we had 7 listed and 3 sold. So there's been a huge decrease in the numbers, but the good news is that people are still listing and people are still buying homes. But as you know, they have to be essential. So that's the
Yeah,
difference.
we found exactly the same thing. I'm just going to look at this so I get the figures right.
That's what I'm doing too.
It was on March 23rd that the state of emergency was declared.
Yeah.
And our sales from March 1st to March 23rd, there was 30 sales, which was on par from last year. From March 24th to March 31st, there was 3 sales. It was off a cliff. As soon as the state of emergency was announced, we went like that. And then since April 1st to today, we've had 13 sales, 13. Last year for the same period, there was 27 sales. So we're running at under 50%. And also the listings we're getting very few new listings as well, but the sales have dropped over 50%.
I think what people might have to remember is that this obviously isn't like from typical market. It's only because of COVID. And when we come out of this, things are going to start getting back to normal and things will happen. But when we see the lower numbers, it's actually good to see them because it means that realtors are abiding by the new rules that we have that have put in place with us, and that the sellers and buyers are also abiding by the rules, because we're only supposed to be selling or buying our homes if absolutely necessary right now.
But it's the only reason we can actually trade is we're an essential business, but it is only, as you said, for essential buyers and sellers. I think one of our OREA, the Ontario Real Estate Association president, said that it's for people who require the purchase of a new home because they've got nowhere to live, or buyers who have purchased a home but will be in financial distress if they don't sell their current home, and 1 or 2 other essential reasons. So I know the drop up here is hugely because buyers and sellers are staying home. Quite rightly, they're staying home.
Yeah.
We feel there's quite a pent up demand. A lot of people are talking to me and saying, when this is over, we want to list, or when we can see light at the end of the tunnel, we want to buy.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a middle ground as the light at the end of the tunnel starts, where people will start coming back into the market. And I think we're going to get very, very busy.
Yeah. I seem to be getting a lot of questions coming at me, and a lot of people are inquiring as to what's happening in the market and what do we do? What do we do? And it seems to be a lot of Band-Aid answers, I guess, right now, because we don't even know the answers with what's going to happen.
No, it's just a time thing. We can still, I mean, up here, we're very much doing virtual showings. We have waivers that buyers and sellers have to sign to say they haven't had any illness, they haven't been abroad, etc. Video walkthroughs, 3D tours. We're insisting that the first viewing is actually just the agent going around with a FaceTime. We like the idea of having the offer accepted conditional on the buyer seeing the house. Because there'd be nothing worse than a buyer going in and then either the buyer or the seller falls ill, but an offer doesn't come, or it comes at 30% below list. You know, so the market's quite here because we're adhering to the rules. You know, there's a lot bigger things going on in the world than selling a house, apart if it's essential. So I think you're quite right. The market downturn is a reflection of people staying home, quite rightly staying home, staying safe.
Yeah. And I think the sellers need to really hear that if you absolutely must sell your house during this time, that we are putting precautions in place with sanitation and gloves and the most minimum amount of per home, virtual tours, and we're putting up more pictures and more video and really restricting who comes, like only the buyer and seller, only the buyers who are going to be on the contract are actually coming through the house. Like that would be it. There's no mom and dad and friends coming along and contractors, and that's just not happening right now. You've gone from maybe having your house having 20 to 50 people tromp through it before you sit down with offers to maybe 5 to 7 now, and maybe not even that many. You know, that would include, because I think many appraisers are even using really good photos online, because we're now taking pictures of things like storage rooms, utility rooms, the outbuildings, like making a big difference in how we do our work and our jobs. We may see a big switch in them as well. It might
and it's all for everybody's health. I've got an appraisal happening Tuesday morning where the appraiser just wants to measure from the outside, look at the outside of the building, and he said the photos are good enough for everything else. So it's good. It's I almost have been telling people we're in a timeout or we're in neutral. You know, it's not a recession, it's not a downcline. The market was like that, and now there's a timeout, we're in neutral, and then I think it's going to continue like that. And during this neutral business period, we can make sure everybody's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've got a wonderful graph there that I'd love to see. Do you want to share your page with us?
I'll just make sure I can do this properly. Right, this is a market report we put out at the end of every month from REMAX, my office for Wasaga Beach, and just some of the figures I was talking about, our 12-month average, the increase, number of days on market, sales up to the end of March compared to the same time last year, and then a breakdown by price, by month, but showing the days on market. Average listing price versus sale price for the first 3 months was there. So if anybody wants a copy of this every month or every quarter, I'll put my email below with the recording, and then please do contact me.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
And I know you've got a very fancy website as well.
I've got a fun website. I actually have a special page on my website right now for COVID-19. Here it is. And if anyone is interested in finding out how the home prices in your specific neighborhood are being affected by it, all you do is go to my website, kimsmileywiley.ca, and click on the COVID-19 tab and just put in your address there and hit submit. and automatically you will be sent every house that is listed for sale in a really good radius of your home, so that you can watch the prices change. And you can do that all over Ontario.
That's
So it's
fantastic.
really, really handy. Yeah, it's a good thing to have. And then I'll probably just change this once COVID finally leaves us one day, and just keep this up and leave it so people can actually watch as things start to go up and things as well. So it's good. It's been really handy, and this page has been very well used. The amount of people that are using it is fantastic, and it's good to see that people are interested in really watching the market.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased we chatted, because I'm glad it's not just my market that's on the downturn.
Yeah,
And
we all are.
hopefully we can just put a lot of people's minds at rest that the real estate market is still open, it's still active with certain restrictions.
Yeah.
And we're on our time out. We're all going to keep healthy. We're all going to stay home. The world's going to go back to normal, and then real estate, I think, will take off again.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Andrew, for joining me and for doing this today. It's been very, very informative, and I wish you all the well, and please stay healthy.
Yep, and you, and to everybody watching.
All right. Take care.